recording stopped. Oh, it started back. So who, let me, and I need some people to chime in here. Who gives the most? Businesses, foundations, or individual? And Chase, L, you can't answer because I probably know. Karate 5, what do y'all think?
I think individuals.
Individuals. All right, we got one vote for individuals. Lindsay, what do you think?
I think it's, this feels like it's individuals.
You say individuals too? Okay. Pumpkin, businesses, foundations, and individuals.
Foundations.
Foundations. Clarence, are you on here? Candace, are you on here? Tori, are you on here?
I am.
You know, never mind. You can't. You can't.
Right.
You already know. And for those of you that said individuals, you are. Why is this thing going? What's going on? Uh-oh, look at that. It didn't even, something went wrong with my presentation there. I'm having technical difficulties. Hold on. Uh-oh. PowerPoint went bye-bye. It's coming back. What is this? That's me. Sorry, folks. You know, in our world that we live in, technical difficulties is a way of our life for nonprofit organizations. Yep. All right, there it is. So you're right. So individuals gave almost 70% of total giving in 2020, followed by foundations, bequests, and corporations. The money went to most of it went to religious organizations, and then followed by education, human services, grant-making foundations, and public society benefit. That kind of, does that surprise anyone? I guess not the people that said individuals, but you know, that's hard kind of to believe, but that means that there's a lot of opportunity for a lot of us to grow our giving, because most of us said that we get the majority of our income from grants, right? Which and where does grants, I guess foundations is 20%. So we're missing out on a huge chunk of fundraising. I'll tell you one that surprised me was the least the amount was companies. Now, I mean, some of y'all are seasoned nonprofit folks, so you realize that, you know, companies don't give a lot of money, right? You know, you could raise money. You could raise money through events, through some companies, because they want recognition. Okay, they want that name recognition. They want people to see that logo there. They want to use that. I think you know, the Karate 5 team said that, you know, sometimes folks will get on your board just to get their name out there, network, and that's natural. You know, that's natural, right? But it doesn't shock me that corporations are low. I haven't had a whole lot of success of even getting grants from corporations. The corporations that I've gotten money from were corporations that I had relationships with. Question for that maybe the United Way folks or the Alliance could answer is, does United Way dollars fall in, does it follow that 70% comes from individual or corporations? I mean, you guys are more, most of y'all giving is like payroll deducted giving still. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not, to be completely honest, I don't know what the exact breakdown would be, but it is, most of it is through campaigns still, but it is individual people giving through campaigns. So we get, I guess it's kind of confusing. It's not like the company themselves is giving us funds, but there's people who are electing to give to the United Way through their company. And then we do also have some corporations. So my guess would be that we are still we would have a lot of individuals, although we've talked about it in a different way in the past.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. So anyway, so with that being said, if 70% of funding comes from individuals, then, you know, I'm not saying that's where you need to spend the majority of your time. What I am saying is that that's where there's the most opportunity to grow revenue within your organization, right? So let's look at that. So step one, prospecting, identifying potential donors. And this is why it's important to have a team of people. You will be amazed with the number of names and the amount of money that you can get when you have a fundraising team and you say, let's prospect, let's determine who can give and how much. I mean, that number, not that you can get it all, but that number could run into the hundreds of thousands of millions of dollars. That could be a long list. If you got 4 or 5, I've always said this, if you want a successful fundraising campaign, 4 or 5 people. Get 4 or 5 people on it. The right people, obviously, but they are amazing. So 3 things to look at: linkage, ability, and interest, right? So linkage, you know, do you have access to them, right? Is there a way for you to get access to them? When I ran the week course, obviously I did a lot of golf tournaments, and so I had a goal to play golf once a month with a major donor and a potential donor and a board member. I tried to get the 4 of us out on a golf course, right? And to be honest, we didn't even talk that much about programming. We just played golf, you know? And so, you know, that was, you know, that was that linkage there, you know. I could look at a ton of different organizations here in Thai, like, you know, obviously that competitive advantage that Karate 5 had, martial arts. There's not that many martial arts organizations out there that are serving the population that you serve. I can't think of one, right? And so, you know, y'all need to find folks that have a passion for martial arts, that are interested in serving underserved kids and have the ability to give. And that ability is dollars. You know, can they give at the level that you want them to be, right? Whether it be $20 or it be $25,000. That's part of prospecting is determining their ability. And then obviously they have to be interested in who you're serving. They got to be interested in your cause. If those 3 things are there, they should be given to your organization. They are a potential donor. Okay. you guys know that 6 degrees separation. I don't know if y'all heard this, but I heard people say 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon, but that's like 6 degrees of Kevin Hart. Right. So I want to do a quick exercise. If yeah, I got time. And we're not gonna see if we can get connected to Kevin Hart. Okay. But we're gonna choose somebody, right? They say that we're only 6 degrees of separation to getting to anybody in the continental US. By shake of hands, do y'all believe that? On this call right now.
I kind of do.
Paul, can you say no? Kind of.
I kind of do. I kind of do. Just from like when I had, when I was working at the Highlanders Center and I was doing a lot of like regional, national work, I was kind of shocked how I'd be connected to folks. So I kind of do. It's a kind of.
All right, cool. Okay, I like that. So somebody pick somebody. Who we want to try to get to? Who's
What'd
that?
you say again, Andre? I didn't hear you.
So you know, you've heard the rule of 6 degrees of separation where you can get to anybody in the continental US through 6 connections, right? And so we just want to do a quick exercise / activity of if that's true. If that's true in this cohort, small little cohort that we have. But we need somebody to pick a person. Come on, people.
Pick a person that you can get next to.
What?
Come on, man. Y'all letting me down.
I mean, I'm
I'm not sure exactly what
Just
it
pick
is.
somebody. Who? I didn't hear you. Say it again.
My bad. My headphones are coming on. I was like, any person, right?
Any person.
Beyonce.
I mean, Beyonce, really?
Let's do
I'm just saying, Beyonce, you could have been Prince Harry. We can get to him faster than Beyonce. Everybody want to meet Beyonce. Hey, if we could figure this out right now, I end this call and I'm on my way.
That's you.
if we can map out how to meet Beyonce, like let's figure it out.
All right, I can't do Beyonce.
How about Gwen McKenzie?
Who?
Gwen McKenzie.
Gwen McKenzie here in town?
No, Gwen McKenzie, who just gave $50 million of her billions away. How about 6 degrees of separation to her?
All right, so that's Bezos. Is that Bezos explain?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Because United Way got some money, didn't they?
Yep.
All right, Tori, y'all got money. I mean, where did that check come from? I mean, who made the call?
Well, that was before I was here. The story that I've heard is that they just called us and that we were even trying to get Mackenzie Scott to do an event or speak at something, and no one can talk to her. She might be even harder to get to than Beyonce. I don't know. But apparently, like, she does not want to talk to anybody. She wants to give away her money and she wants to be done with it. So they talked to her team. Matt here has at least spoken to somebody on her team.
Okay, so we can talk to Matt. Matt could connect us with somebody on the team. But let me ask the group this. Who do you all know? What famous people do you all know? I mean, do y'all know some billionaires? Anybody that might run in those circles?
No. Haslam.
Hmm?
Haslam. I don't know them.
Well, I tell you this, we do know some billionaires. Now, we may not run in their circles, but we do know some we're 1 degree away from, you know, the former governor who resides in Knoxville, Bill Haslam, right? Does anybody know Bill Haslam in this room? Chase, okay? Me and Chase, we gonna call Bill, okay? And say, hey, Bill, right? Who do you know, or do you know? You never know, they might go skiing, you know. They might go skiing every spring in Switzerland or something. You never know. Halloran Hill is on my board. Halloran knows everybody, okay? I'm sure that Halloran is less than 3 degrees of separation away from Miss McKenzie. Now, it's just my connection. What about you all? This is a quiet bunch, man.
DeAndre, say the question one more time.
I'm saying that I think that I can get connected to somebody that can connect, that can get either directly or indirectly. I mean, I'm just saying if it was a good enough cause, a good enough case, right? And I said, Bill, I really gotta see Gwen. This is going to change hundreds of thousands of people's lives. Okay, this could change my community. Mr. Haslam, Governor, Bill, right? Bill figured it out. You know, we all know somebody that might know Randy Boyd. I mean, these are people that got a lot of money.
DeAndre, I know quite a few people. Some of them might be millionaires. They don't talk about the money, but I've got some that help me, National Kennel Club here in Blaine, Tennessee. But one of the things that concerns us is that we don't have any Black corporations or that many here. We have small businesses that are struggling to get by. But we here in Knoxville, there is no major corporations or strong businesses that we can lean on.
Yeah, and I think that not to get too far off the subject, but I do think that's why I think Knoxville is kind of an anomaly in the South per se, in this area, because there is. I think I've read something that there are 0 Black-owned businesses in downtown Knoxville. That's kind of bad. 0? Really? You know, so and you do read in the news where I read it. It was in Knoxville News Sentinel a couple of weeks ago, where a Black entrepreneur that went to MTSU is just writing off so many students' debts. I think at TSU or something like that, right? He's doing something really, really big. I mean, it's like in the $25 million range. I mean, it's huge. It's huge difference. Knoxville, we don't particularly have that. There's some things I think that happen in Knoxville. Not that this is a history lesson. There's some things that happen in Knoxville with urban removal, right? That just killed Black businesses in the 70s, and we're feeling the growing pains of it right now today, period. And so anyway, but I think we're 6 degrees of separation. I think we can even get to Kevin Hart if we had to, because you know what, there are major production companies here in town. So, you know, anybody at Jupiter Entertainment, Steve Land, I know he used to own it, he may have sold it, I don't know, but I mean, we can, you know, we can get to them. You know, we can get to them if we thought long and hard about it. As we look at, you know, identifying potential donors, if you got that team of people, you can create a pretty good prospect list. Okay. And in that list, you got to be as specific as possible about who is that linkage, right? Okay. And how much, what's the potential there that they can give, right? And who can make that connect. That in that list, if you have a hold on real quick. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I just come in pay on scale, so.
Oh, is that for dues? No, there's nobody out there?
No.
Oh, okay. You just said it right here.
No,
You need a receipt?
no, I mean,
I tell you what, if you come back in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, they will be here and they could take care of you.
20 minutes?
20 minutes.
No, I got something to do in the, like. So
I'm just in a meeting right now. So are you what is this for?
Just like Trump, I think it's Trump. Check. I pay here, so I'll check.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay. You came to pay it?
Yeah, so I can just give it to you or?
Yes, you give it to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I didn't write it. I make sure it's like 200, right?
Yes,
Just 200?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yeah. Here you get a pen. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
All right, so so we were talking about creating that prospect list. If you got a team of 4 to 5 people, there is no reason why you can't come up with 50 to 100 names, okay, of potential new donors, especially if you hadn't done it before. And I tell you, and that's why, you know, boards, you have to transition people on and off the board because that list needs to grow. You need to, you know, your funding needs to grow, and you need to expand your reach. Something I put on there I think is very important is study your competition. Okay, study organizations that are serving folks that you're serving, right? Research their websites, look at their annual reports, look at their 990s, look at Foundation's 990s. You could learn a lot. You could learn a lot about who those donors are, especially when you're developing that prospect list.
Okay, whatever receipts I can cut.
So at any rate, I will tell you that I have learned a ton of information about who gives to organizations that serve population that are served or single populations.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. I appreciate it.
You keep it out? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you need that too?
Yeah, you can just give me that. Yeah, that'd be perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep it there. All right.
All right, all right.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. All right, sorry about that.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, sir. So so at any rate, and not just with finding out donors. I mean, you could learn a lot from organizations. This is funny. I would do a year-end email blast every year. I would do it 2 hours after a competitive organization would do theirs. I mean, I just took pretty much their format, changed pictures and blah, 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 color theme and all of that, put it together, send it out. It was kind of sad because I had it on my calendar and they must have took me off the email list because I didn't get it one year. So I had to create it myself. I'm like, man, I've never done this before. But you could learn a lot by studying your competition. So step 2 is cultivating relationships. And cultivating is just kind of just getting to know your donor, getting to know their interest. and be authentic about it. I've seen where I've gone on calls with staff people, and we were with a past donor, and we were trying to rekindle an old flame, so to speak, right? And because they hadn't given in a couple of years, and so got the appointment, and I took one of my development people with me, and I kind of recommend for certain calls, if you can go by yourself, right? Because if you don't need to go with someone, don't bring someone. But anyway, long story short, the questions that my colleagues working this guy down this ask funnel, right?
Is it frozen for y'all?
Yeah, ours froze up too. We couldn't hear what DeAndre said after the questions they asked.
Yeah, I think Dre, that was him trying to pay his internet bill and didn't work. Anyway,
Can DeAndre hear us?
it looks like he dropped off.
I was interested in what he was getting ready to say.
I know.
I wanted to hear what he said, the questions they asked, and that was it.
Yep. I bet he'll hop right back on. I'll shoot him a text that he's off. He might still be talking.
He's gonna have to do a rewind.
Yep. Rewind. Let's see, DeAndre. You dropped. Here he comes.
All right. Hello.
Hey, were you trying to pay your internet just then? Was that the cable guy?
I think I heard the microwave come on, and I think it kind of kicked me out.
Oh no.
Yeah. All right.
Well, everybody, you left us on the cliffhanger.
All right. Sorry about that, people.
The last thing we heard was when you said you took some people with you and the questions they asked, and we just lost you there.
Okay. All right. So, can y'all see my presentation?
No, I can't.
Can now.
Okay. All right. All right. Sorry about that. I got rattled. So I took him in, and so this guy, the young man that I took with me, he just kept going on rabbit trails about. I guess he just wanted to hear. He talked more than the donor did, the potential donor did, and before you know it, we were calling on a business, right? And they were like a $3,000 at the $3,000 sponsorship level. And so eventually, he kind of just kicked us out of our office. And so I said, man, you messed that one up. You messed that one up. You just wouldn't shut up, right? So at any rate, look for things that you might have in common with that person. But at the same time, be authentic. Be authentic as you cultivate that relationship. And then also just get a good understanding of that fundraising cycle, of that cultivating the relationship, understanding that, the bigger the ask, the longer the cycle. All right. So it's not going to be a typical, we met, I'm gonna ask for $20,000. Right? Big gifts don't work that way. That first meeting that you have, it might be at their office. Okay. and on where you're visiting, right? And when I say visiting, I mean that you don't have home field advantage. Okay, I always, until to this day, if I'm gonna make a big ask, right, there are certain things that have to be in place before I make that big ask. Hey, I need home field advantage. Okay, I need you on my turf. Okay, if you're on my turf, then I could take you through my process, and we could stop right here where I got X marks the spot, and I could tell you this story, right? And we could, go downstairs and in my facility, and I could tell you another story. And then we could go up top of my conference room, and I could lay out this presentation to you while we have lunch and really kind of get into the nuts and bolts of things. I can't do that in your office. The purpose of you, remember, the purpose of you making that ask is you're trying to get money. You want a yes. You want a big yes. You don't want a maybe. You definitely don't want a no. Okay. But when somebody is in their office, all right, then they're still in business mode. Now, granted, you're not going to get Mr. Haslam out his office. All right. I've met with him maybe 10 times. And one time he came to see me, and that didn't have anything to do with me. He just like, I want to come see you guys. And I was just like, wow. So, but you're going to get 20 minutes in his office, and you're going to have to make that big ask. But, for me, a big ask is a little ask. It's little to him, like $25,000. Okay, next, and that too leads me to so think of it like this. First meeting is just introductory, right? With the hopes of bringing that person back to your place. After that meeting, if you've done your due diligence, and maybe you haven't, maybe you don't know the ability to give, right? Or maybe you feel like it's not time to make that big ask, and you kind of get a feeling for it, right? I've always said that if by the time I'm done giving my presentation, if they're not saying, DeAndre, how can I help? Then I'm about 25% chance of getting a yes, 75% chance of getting a no. My goal after we have that meeting in my place, when I'm giving them the best I got, is for that person to say, how can I help? What can we do to support this organization? Man, we love what you're doing. This is so important, right? But if they're not saying that, then yeah, sometimes, most of the time, I will make the ask, right? Unless they're kind of like prolonging their question and know that's coming. Then I always have a step 3, like come see us in action. Come sit in on our leadership day. Okay. And then after that, it's probably time to go ahead and either begin a new relationship with a gift, or end our relationship with a no. Right. So anyway, that's kind of my process when it comes to to making that ask. And like I said, be prepared. If it's 2 people, have a pre-meeting beforehand, so you make sure you don't get like the situation I had where you got the guy asking all the questions and then just loves to hear self-talk. That's on my side of the fence. Be specific. Lead them down that donor funnel by filling in the gaps. So if you have a process in which you want to tell them about your organization, always ask, hey, do you know about our organization and what we do? They might know a ton. And if they already know a ton, then you don't have to tell them something they already know. You want to lead them down that funnel to that yes. Okay. And then, of course, don't be afraid to make that ask. Hey, we really need $10,000 a year for the next 3 years. So we're making a $30,000 ask. That will transform our organization, or that will help this project, right? So be prepared to know. And so once you get the money, you want to maintain connections with, sending out those thank you letters. You want them on all your mailing lists. You want to possibly personally invite them to events, a dinner, or in my case, I'm always playing in scrambles and I always need a fourth, so I'm like, hey, John, what are you doing on Friday? Hey, I'm playing at Holston. You want to go? Right? So keep that person top of mind when it comes to some opportunities for you to steward that relationship and continue to cultivate that relationship. These are just kind of the, and I'm sure everybody gets this, but you want to give prompt acknowledgement when a gift is made. If you can get a handwritten thank you is a touch of class, right? And it's, I've got a letterhead that I actually made that has pictures of my program and logo and all of that kind of good stuff. It looks just like the big boys, right? It's a thank you for this gift, right? And of course they become on all of our, they receive all of the our communications after that, right? But if you have results, to send those results is more than impact. That's what they're gonna remember. Okay, those personal stories, personal quotes from parents, from kids, from employers, depending on organization that you have. So here we go. This is the process. Process. First, they're a suspect, then they're a prospect, then they're a donor, right? And now the hard part is, can they be a repeat donor? Okay, and at the end, I'll talk about how we can get to that repeat donor. But I always ask if it's able, can you give a little more, right? To kind of upgrade them. Okay, special gift, major gift, playing gift. Let me see here. I got 5 minutes. Quick story. A donor, a potential donor, came to our facility, saw our facility, liked it, wrote a check in the mail, $3,000. Didn't even ask him for it, right? And so obviously you thank them, you go meet them, you thank them in person, and then you find out that they can make a big gift. We went and saw this gentleman. I was with a board member, and we asked for $10,000 a year over 3 years. And we literally said, hey, we need you to make a gift of $10,000 a year over the next 3 years. He said, yeah, cool, that's great. I mean, just like that, right? We didn't do our due diligence. He could have made 5 times that gift, right? So he started out as just, a donor, made a pretty big gift, then he became a big gift, okay? Now, 3 years later, when that $10,000 was up, we went to go see him again, and I didn't ask for $10,000, okay? I mean, I think we asked for a little over $500,000 from this guy. And he said, oh, I gotta think about that one, right? But he gave it. He gave it. And so just understand that as we go through this development process. Real quick, the most effective way of fundraising is a face-to-face. Okay, and that's something that you have to do on a regular basis to raise the funds that you need to support your organization. All right, and you can look down that list. One of the ways that I think might be even higher, because this information, it might be a little bit dated, is social media posts. I know I've done quite well with social media post fundraising. I've gotten a pretty good return, probably a better return now on mailers that I do by doing the social media posts, which is kind of odd because I'm kind of old school, right? But you have to get better that face-to-face ask. To do a face-to-face ask, it's always to your benefit to have that home field advantage, to have a board member there that give, and also a board member possibly that can be peers with the person you're asking. To have that linkage always helps. And remember, have your pre-meeting to make sure, because maybe the board member gonna do the ask. Maybe you're gonna tell the story and the board member gonna do the ask if they feel comfortable, right? Grants, you guys know how to raise money with grants. You gotta do your research on grants. I'm a member of Grant Station. I do a lot with 990s and look at similar organizations. One thing I think for local grants that's important to do is look who's on a board when you look at those 990s, when you do the grant research, because you need to personally connect with them, okay, before you make that ask. It'd be great if they could be, if you might know someone that knows somebody on that board, or you may know somebody on that board of that foundation. That ask is a whole lot easier when you have that person, and especially being, I just be honest, being a minority, to have that credibility with you, and y'all know what I mean when I say that, increases the likelihood of them making that big gift, right? But you can look at the 990, you can go, just Google 990 search, and in the 990, if you scroll down, you will see who is on their board, and you also will see what organizations they give to, the foundation, and how much they gave. So you'll know if they're a good fit or not. So if I see an organization, they only give to colleges, I'm not even gonna ask them for money, because they only give to colleges. But if they only give to missions in Costa Rica, they could be a $500 million organization. It's a waste of time. They're not gonna give you a dime, or they weren't gonna give me a dime unless I'm doing stuff in Costa Rica. There's I wish somebody here was on call, but we don't have time, but I am terrible at getting state grants. I just haven't had any luck getting a state grant. I've gotten money from cities and counties and United Way and foundations and corporations, but I am 0 for like 5 going after state grants. I even paid a grant writer for 3 of them, thinking it was me, right? So looking at different campaigns, you have capital campaigns, which is one-time gifts, and it can be given over time, but they're given towards a project, building, construction, maybe a launch of a program. It's a one-time gift. Most all capital campaigns, but it could be over 3 or 5 years. I've seen $1 million gifts staying over 4 years, something to that nature. Your operating campaigns, which are committee and board led, right? They have a stop and an end date. Everybody should be doing a year-end giving campaign. That's just nonprofit fundraising basics 101. If you don't have an annual giving fund, you need to establish one, which is basically a campaign. Fall, September 1, we will do an annual fund campaign. We will say, this is what our need is, this is how much we're trying to raise, and we're going to send a blast out to everybody, right? And once again, secret sauce, it's people. You got to have the people, okay? And it could be program driven, project driven, but a lot of annual funds are just for your general operations. And they can come from individuals and corporations as well. I got 3 more slides, people. That's it. Special events. A lot of talk about doing the special events. Special events are a lot of work. They are very, very hard to do alone and by yourself. You really need a team of people to do it. And if it's a new event, I would not do it unless I started 6 months in advance. Okay. Now you can do events, but if it's to raise money, it needs to be clear to raise money. Okay. And the secret sauce is people. 5 to 6, 5 to 10 people, and you can do any event in Knoxville. I say, I've done a lot of golf tournaments, 5 to 10 people. That's all you need to get 72 to 144 golfers at a golf course, and you know, golf tournament. If you can net low end $15,000, $20,000, high end, I've raised $50,000, $60,000, right? But you got to have a big presenting sponsor to do that. And then these are other reasons why you possibly should do an event: raise awareness, volunteers, cultivation, stewardship, but it needs to be a part of the process and the plan. Real quick, the income-based model, you know, is if you have a business tied to your nonprofit, in which, you know, I mean, it's a simple cut and dry. Revenue minus expenses is your profit. Your profit support your organization. There are very few nonprofit organizations that are able to do this successfully. Why? Is because market rules apply. Okay, if you're selling cookies, they can't be stale, because Kroger's don't sell stale cookies, right? If you're doing a skating ring, then you got to run it like a business, and there's expenses that go along with running like a business. That it could be a nonprofit skating ring, but it's still a business, and it's hard to do both at the same time. You know, I ran one at the Wheat course, and I always told my board, I was like, hey, we're okay at running a golf course, but we stink at running a nonprofit. We need to make a choice. Do we want to run a nonprofit, or we want to run a golf course? I'm here to run a nonprofit, right? You know, so Thistle Farms is a great income-based model. It's in Nashville, known all around the country. And it's an amazing story. You just Google Thistle Farms, and I went and looked at them, saw what they do. But just understand that market rules apply. And last thing I'm gonna say about an income-based model: if you got a good idea, if you have a good strategy, right, that could earn you income, don't tell everybody, because you just entering a whole nother system, a competitive system. Not that nonprofit ain't competitive, but a lot of times folks don't see the value of it. Just be careful. Be careful who you tell. Okay. And like I said, I will only recommend it if there's a kind of scope to where you can do one and it drastically reduces cost and all of that kind of good stuff. I think this is my last slide, and that is kind of developing your fundraising plan. Is you got to have a strategy. You got to have a plan, develop those goals, objectives for each one of those different fundraising items that you have. Okay, and it needs to fall within a timeline. There's certain things that's going to go in that timeline that are easy, right? Which is grants. Grants have a due date, and if you don't reach those due dates, you're in trouble. You know that. There ain't no I can get it a week later. No, we've all experienced that. We've all experienced that. That's going to go on that timeline. Make sure you got ample time, you know, to write those grants. Make sure you put on that timeline to follow up with those reports, also on that timeline. And I like the reports that you have to do for different grants, because now you have information that you can put in material, right? So you got information to put in your year-end giving. You got information to put in your mid-year giving. You got information for your newsletters that's going to go into that timeline. 11-month repeat donor letter. I send a letter out 11 months after someone's gave a gift to remind them to please give that gift again. And possibly a little more, right? Your events will be scheduled. If it's a new event, I say 6 months. If it's an existing event, I say 3, right? 3 to 4 months, get going on that. Set in that timeline of, you know, in your goals and objectives of doing 1 face-to-face ask per week or 1 every 2 weeks. But you do need to set those goals to do that. And then that information ask ratio. That's kind of the way that you communicate. You don't want to just send out just a bunch of asks to your donors, like ask. Right? No, you want to make sure you have information in between. Right? And I try not to make an ask to get a donor. Everybody's gonna get my year-end letter. Everybody's gonna get that. Right? And it's kind of a soft ask, but it's kind of direct. Okay. But if you gave money to me in January or February, and I'm not going to ask you again mid-year, go on mid-year giving campaign. Okay. But everybody's on my year-end giving because we all look at and see how much we can give towards year-end. But watch out for cannibalism, especially for events. Okay. Because now you're working in teams of people. And so you may have a set of folks working on an event that don't know that Pilot gave you $25,000. And now they're calling Pilot on a $250 whole sponsorship or $500 table sponsor. You give them that no call list. You do not call Pilot. Whoever's on that list, you do not bother these people. Only I can bother these people because you don't want to cannibalize on that. So things to remember. The number one reason people do not donate is because they weren't asked, right? Fundraising is about building and maintaining a relationship. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And like I said, the larger the gift, the larger the ask. I think this is important. It is a heck of a lot easier to keep a donor and to get them to increase than to get a new donor. Don't spend all your time going after the new when you should be taking care of your old business. So that 80-20 rule, spend 80% of your time cultivating, 20% of your time going after new business. Because you want to retain as a higher percentage as possible. And objection is coming. And that's it, guys. I'm sorry I ran a little bit over, but appreciate the opportunity, Alliance for Better Nonprofits, to share a little bit my fundraising experience. I hope you guys got something out of it. There's a lot of information.
Absolutely, thank you.
Yep, there's a lot of information in here. If you need any of it, I could forward it on to you, and especially some of the stats and data. I send it on to you, and I do mean this. I do believe in a team approach, and I do think that we do need to come together, work together in regards to fundraising, because I think there's more opportunities out there, and we're better together as a team, as a nonprofit, Black-led nonprofit organizations than we are apart. So anytime I can do anything to help any one of y'all, I'm just a phone call away. So,
Trey, thank you so much, buddy. Always love being with you and listening to your wisdom. It's awesome. Hey, I just want to make a quick reminder to some folks, or to all of you guys, and to get this on the recording as well. For those of you guys who have not joined the Alliance for Better Nonprofits, I think the bottom is one of those, and Karate 5. You guys, it is a free membership for you all as a part of this community healing fund. And I'm going to share my screen really quickly, Dre, if you don't mind. If you guys, are y'all seeing my screen here? Okay. If you go and just on betternonprofits.org and go to this become a member, it will take you through the registration process. And then when you get to the payment page of the membership, you'll just type in the word healing fund, all one word, no spaces, and that will zero out your amount that you'll have to pay. I wanted to mention a couple things because I know Karate 5 mentioned this kind of in your opening of what you wanted to take away as far as like events and how to run events to raise money, fundraising events. On our website, if you go to this calendar tab and these on-demand trainings right here, click on the on-demand, And when your page loads, hopefully quicker than mine, you can go in here and look for fund development classes that we have archived in here. One of the ones that you will see is about an ask event. And you'll also find one on a year-end appeal letter that Dre mentioned, both of those. Again, when you go, you guys have a budget that you can purchase these classes and use that Healing Fund promo code, and you will get those classes at zero cost to you. So just wanted to point out a couple of those resources. The one other thing that Dre also mentioned, and hopefully you guys will access this as well. You've all got access to Grant Station. So you've got free membership to Grant Station where you can go on and have access to the online grant and foundation directory to search for potential grant makers that are out there. So wanted to point that out to you. If you have any questions about that, or
so if we, because so I get a free membership to Grant Station?
yes, with your ABN membership.
Yeah, because mine, it just expired like 2 days ago.
Perfect. Don't renew it. You get it free with your ABN membership.
Okay.
And that's great.
Yeah.
I have to apologize because I didn't realize that we needed to do that.
Good.
So that's an oversight on my
Oh,
part.
don't apologize. I want to make sure you're getting all the benefit for you guys being a part of it.
Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah,
Thank you for
good.
bringing that up.
Awesome.
I have a question. We paid for our membership.
Yes.
So do we get that reimbursed or what? Or what happens with that? And then, so you said we can put in a promo code to get the classes for free?
That's right, Candace. It's the promo code is Healing Fund. So all one word, and just, it doesn't matter what, if they're caps or not. And Tori, we can talk about the reimbursement piece of that. I'm not sure because you guys, Candace, y'all renewed your membership before this Healing Fund was awarded. So
Yeah, I think that what we had talked about when I was talking with the group before was that you could use it to renew. So if you're already a member, you can get the next year free.
awesome.
But you can still get the 5 classes no matter what.
Awesome. Oh, thank you, Tori. It's 5 classes free. So yeah, in that on-demand library on our website, there's about 100 trainings that have been archived in there. So, and then of course you can do any upcoming trainings as well that would be live. So just wanted to make sure that as a reminder that y'all were aware of that.
Paige, could we use it to get one of y'all staff people to maybe lead our board through something?
Yes, absolutely. And Tori, correct me if I'm wrong, but we do have a consulting project that's a part of this Community Healing Fund. So yeah, if you wanted a consultant to come out and lead a board retreat or to help with a strategic plan, and I think Elle has been reaching out to you guys to kind of get your input on what you're looking for and who you'd like to use. So yes, Dre.
Okay.
Yeah, and the consultant is separate. So there are several things. So there's the consultant piece, which is directly with Elle, and she'll help you get that scheduled. And then there's the membership to ABN, which could either be a new membership or a renewal. And then there's the 5 free classes once you have become a member. So those are all options available. And we don't have an expiration on those right now. So you don't have to get in there and sign up for 5 right now. But it is something just for you to know about and you can plan for.
Hey, Tori, are y'all doing any in-person classes?
Actually, that's a question probably for Chase. Are you guys doing in person? I know most of them have been via Zoom recently.
Most are via Zoom right now, but I think we had talked about this cohort potentially being some in person as well, but we have not, I don't think we made final decisions on that. It's continuing to figure out what's going on with the health in the community.
Also, just as a note, the Healing Fund promo code is just for organizations who applied to the Community Healing Fund. So unfortunately, it's not something we can share out right now. We're looking for other opportunities, to continue this in future years. But that promo code is specifically for people who applied, and then you all are also getting the consulting and this cohort that received funds.
The 2 consultants that we were referred to by Elle, are these within the group for the 10 hours of free counseling, or are they outside of the group? Because the two that she referred me to, I think were outside of ABN.
That's okay. Yeah, anyone that she provided to you would be included. So if she gave you their name, they are included as part of this. We have so that it's both, and sorry, Chase, if I'm talking over you, but it's both ABN staff that can do some consulting, and then we also have outside consultants.
Okay. Okay,
So,
thank
and
you.
basically we're paying them on your behalf. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That's all I had to say. Thank you, Tori. Do you have any wrap up for us?
Yeah, the one other thing I did want to mention, I put a link in the chat. You all should have heard about the Upward Summit, which is happening on March 31st. I know we've sent out some emails. It's a free summit for nonprofits and is going to be very focused on collaboration. I would love to have you all there. Again, it's free. Many people from your organization can sign up to attend. It is an all-day event, and we are having fun planning that. So it should be a good time and learning more about collaboration and some pitfalls and how we can all do that better together.
Wonderful. Hey, thank y'all for taking the time and the energy to be on here. Dre, thanks again for leading this time. We're grateful for you, and I hope y'all all have a wonderful rest of your day and week.
Thank you.
Chase.
Thank you. Great presentation. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you guys.
All right, thanks.